The UDU, a planned development united, installed their neighborhood nodes throughout the entirety of a land. Their reach was unmatched.
Alrighty, thank you everybody. This is UDUA and UDU team meeting number 13. Should be a nice quick one today. Hopefully we've just got a few things to cover and discuss, predominantly due to with some of the big changes that are on the way. First thing that we should talk about, I guess, is the changes to the staking train. If I share screen, it's a bit hard to see, but hopefully by now everybody's seen this document that has all the new changes coming on board with the staking train. And this was all came about based on a lot of good feedback that I had from different people when I put the call out for ideas to move forward. So we're also setting up a new server as well. So hang on a minute. Here's feedback. What's that? What's going on? Anyway, we'll work it out. Thank you for fix that up. So yeah, once the new server's up and running, which it kind of is now, and we've just started to migrate a few people over to test. Again, thanks to MoreCheese for all the work she's been doing there. So within probably, I expect 3 or 4 days maybe, like we're still going to onboard a few people at a time so we can test all the permissions and that sort of thing. But once it looks like we're good to go and the server's ready to accept new members and we can merge over, we'll get this system up and running. So what will happen is I'll post a few things in the current Spark server. And from there, there'll be 2 paths to take. You can either click on a link and that'll be associated with step 1. So you need to decide if you're going to stay on the train or not. It's totally up to you. There's no obligation. If you're not going to stake on the train, if you just want to move on and do your own thing, there will be a process to follow that'll be outlined. If you are going to stay on board, great. And then from that process there, we'll move you over to the new server and get going. Just keep in mind that we're now going to require a minimum of 0.25 Spark to be involved. We can talk about that a bit more when we have a look at the new server stuff. Yeah, so for the new train, we're going to create a list of participants that want to continue staking on the train, and it should be a pretty simple process. You'll just be asked to post your upland name along with the amount of Spark you're willing to stake, and then nominate 1 property. And then from there, we'll rank those based on the highest amount nominated to stake to the lowest, and that'll effectively become the new build order list. So we're going to be just working through 1 person, 1 property at a time. And of course, this is important to note, if you've already completed a building on 1 structure or more, then you're not eligible to nominate a property until later rounds. So for myself, for example, I've already got 3 properties up, so I wouldn't be eligible to nominate a property until round number 4. And yeah, as we say here, it should go without saying, Miss Cheese will be keeping her eagle eyes on the staking details at all times, and as always, a very large knife at the ready. But yeah, with this system, with it just being a 1 person, 1 build and a nominated amount of Spark, it should be way easier to manage, keep track of for everybody that's involved. Did anybody have any questions about that? No, we're all good. No. Alex is just connecting. Alex, you good? Just thought though, yep, Finsky in chat. What's up, mate? If we have max 4 buildings nominated person, depending on Spark, 25% is 1 prop 50. Yeah, it's that kind of system. That's kind of falls in line with the other suggestion that we had about doing multiple, like, small groups building. It's all doable, but it just becomes an issue of management and confusion. We've already seen the situation before. It was hard enough to manage as it is. I think if we're just all on the one list, it should be way easier to manage, and it'll be a lot more transparent, a lot easier for everybody to keep track of and follow. And yeah, we'll see how we go. And of course, nothing's set in stone. If we get through round 1 and we think, oh, well, this is not working, or we need to tweak it somehow, you know, this is blockchain. There's nothing that can't be sorted out with cool heads and communication. So we'll work it out. All right. So the new server, that's the kind of the most exciting thing. So at the moment, we've got the UDU Spark server, we've got the UDU Academy server, and we've got the UDU server, which, as I'm sure we all agree, is it's just too much. It confuses everything. You know, there's always multiple conversations going on. I'm posting the same thing over and over. It's kind of just got out of hand. So Angela's done, MoreCheese has done some fantastic work here with their new icon, and we're going to have the brand new UDU server. So looking at that, if it will let me. So when you click the invite, you're going to end up in our new landing page. And as you can see, Finsky and Nubex have already come over to help test the system, and you'll get a message to say, please go and check the rules. So if we click on that. So yeah, that's pretty much a few things that we already talked about as far as the staking train goes. Please change your nickname in this server to your upland name, at least in part. Like we know Finsky, I think yes, Finsky, and then Jerry Sode in brackets. Just something like that, so it's easy to keep track of. Minimum contribution for staking Spark is 0.25. Once you are staked on a property, if you reduce or pull out before that property is completed construction and you haven't notified a mod, you may be moved to the bottom or kicked from the building list. You know, if you have to move out your Spark because you've got to take part in a competition or something, just let somebody know. We can sort it out. The order of the building will be relying on how much of your available Spark you're staking with this overall. So like, for instance, myself, I have 9.68 Spark. If I was only going to nominate 1, then I'm going to be way lower in the list than somebody that only has 3 Spark and they're nominating 2.5. We think that's just the fairest and easiest way to go about it. It gets rid of all of the ambiguity and stuff associated with picking who's the most actively involved and all that sort of stuff. When you've read and agreed to these rules, you just click this check mark, and then you'll get access to another channel, and then from there you'll be assigned a role. And then, of course, if you're an UDU or UDUA member and you don't want to take part in the staking list, there's no worries there whatsoever. Just click the thing and say so, and you'll be assigned your role. Speaking of roles, if we go back here, you should have seen this hopefully too. We've got some new server roles. So within the new server, there will be management roles. So MoreCheese and myself will have full access to everything. We'll have moderator role again, and this is just copied over from the old server. Full access to everything with the exception of some logistical admin and storage channels, boring stuff. Node managers, same as for the moderators. Multilingual community leaders, same as the node managers. Mentors, now this is going to be a new one because we've got the UDUA guys and girls and UDU people all in the same kind of, under the same roof. We're hoping that's going to help a lot with a lot of cross communication and that sort of thing. So if there's somebody new that comes on board, they can just do an @mentor if they're looking for a mentor and that sort of thing. So if you're somebody that wants to act as a mentor, just let us know and we'll assign you that role. For the channels, there's going to be well, actually that should be categories. There's 3 main categories. There's going to be the Spark category. So that will be for all non-UDUA or UDU members. They will have access to a general channel and the Spark server categories. So they will have restricted access to only that stuff. UDUA members will have access to all of that stuff, plus all of their stuff, and the UDU members, of course, will have access to the whole lot. There will also, again, be some cosmetic roles, founder, artist, social media, business license, all standard stuff that we've already got in the other servers. So we go back over to the server. So yeah, we've got an admin channel, and I can show you what's in there. There's, you know, admin chat, there's a log channel, spitballing and stuff, and then there's a boardroom. Same as with the previous UDU server, there's a boardroom where, you know, all of the node managers have an area where they can discuss things that come up. We have a general channel. MoreCheese, did you want to remind me what these are all about?
General channel is pretty much open to everybody, UDU and the people coming in for Spark. It'll give everybody a chance to kind of talk together.
That's right, yeah.
Team meetings, team recordings, that's all stuff that we put out anyway. So, you know, documents, I don't know if you want that to be the only private one in that channel.
No, that'll be like our frequently asked questions and all, you know, all those one pages that we put out. I'll just dump those in there.
All right.
So that can be open.
So that one and other were the two
Yeah.
categories that we're going to leave kind of open to member status and above.
Yeah. Yeah. So
and you
it's
become member by clicking that rules.
yeah. So it's the same before. There's a general chat and off-topic chat, diff only, collection, swapping, properties, storage. There's an admin storage. That's basically just to retire any old channels and stuff like that. It's boring logistic stuff. So yeah, this is the main guts of it here. Do you want to speak to this, MC?
So the Spark is pretty much where people will go to when we start our Spark train back. Everybody will have access to that. And yeah, hopefully we get that going soon.
Yeah, it's pretty much a copy and paste of the guts of what we had in the actual Spark server. You know, there'll be a build chat, nominate the property, that sort of thing. And yeah, this is just pretty much open to the people who aren't UDUA or UDU members. And then of course we've got the UDUA stuff.
With UDUA, we want to give UDU access to UDUA, yeah, just to kind of promote and bring forth a little more mentorship, maybe motivate people. Like if they see somebody in there asking a question, someone from UDU will be like, you know, okay, you know, I have some time, let me go help them out. UDUA will not have access to UDU though, but it's a good way to kind of like integrate it so that UDU can kind of go in there and help out a lot more.
Yeah, it's kind of at the moment with the two separate servers, you kind of have to go out of your way to go over there and click what's happening, where if it's here and it's all in the one spot, it's going to be easy to see that there's messages that haven't been read and that sort of thing. So yeah, we're really thinking this is going to open up the, you know, the engagement a lot more between the two groups. The UDU, that's pretty much all the standard stuff as well. Announcements, member list, UDU chat. The nodes, and if you've got eagle eyes, you might spot a couple of new things down here. Anybody spot anything interesting? We've got this little one here, which you should have all known about, and there's this new one here, which we've been, well, I kind of went bonkers on it myself. I think it was Nemo Ryan or Finsky or somebody posted that there was some historic buildings in this area, so I went and bought 3 or 4, and then I kept looking and I bought more, and I've got I think I've got 174 along Longwood Drive at the moment, and yeah, we pretty much went through and cleaned that out. I think there's only 3 or 4 FSAs left, and it's a huge, big, massive, long street that goes through 2 neighbourhoods, Morgan Park and Beverly. I've secured way more properties than I need, and I'll be passing those off at cost for people who want to get on board, and that's in Chicago, I should clarify. So yeah, this will be effectively a street node, and of course that won't qualify for the neighborhood collection status because it goes through two neighborhoods. But I think it'd be like we discussed that in the Chicago planning, or it might have been the other planning we talked about. You know, be cool to have a street. So we've got one now, and I think that would look pretty cool to have a whole street built out in the future. But yeah, keep in mind that that's a long-term play. It'd be probably quite a while before we get to Chicago. But yeah, if that's something you're interested in, myself and several other members, we grabbed a whole bunch. And like I said, I've got way more than I need, and I can pass them off at cost. They're nice big properties, and it's spread out through a huge area. So have a look. Just make sure when you do look for S Longwood Drive. I believe there is another Longwood Drive that's a shorter street. Other than that, yeah, pretty straightforward. And of course we've got our marketing stuff, and that's about it. All under the same roof, and it will just be all of the access will just be controlled through those role situations, which is kind of, we did talk about that back in the day, like once UDUA started up, but it was kind of, the process was already too far underway, and it was going to be a big hassle to go back and do everything. So, you know, shedding the old skin, as we've been saying, and starting afresh, I think it's going to be pretty beneficial. We'll see how it goes. We're not going to rush the process because, like I said, you know, there's going to be cracks in the system and there always is with roles and that sort of thing. MoreCheese will be getting various people over, some UDU people, some UDUA people, some just community members over to test the system, and that will just be a gradual process. We're hoping that at least by this time next week, we're fully merged over and up and running, and the staking train's going again, and off we go. For the old servers, they're not going to be deleted or anything like that. They will just remain abandoned. I'll put a post up in all of the announcement channels that say, hey, we've moved, contact Ben68 for more details. And basically what that's doing is getting rid of all the dead weight out of the server, pretty much. You know, we're all about engagement and commitment and that sort of thing. There really is no point having 100 and something members on paper if in reality you've only got 30. You know, it's just kind of pointless, I think. That's not to say that if you don't come over, you are out of the UDU or the UDUA. It's just that when you eventually go over and click that announcement and you say, oh shit, they've moved, then you're going to follow the same process, and we'll say welcome back, blah blah blah. MoreCheese, did you want to speak to the thing we're thinking about it in regards to you know, keeping engaged?
Keeping engaged in regards to
I did suggest a 1 month grace period, whether we stick to that or not. You know what I'm talking about? So if you disappear from the server, if you become disengaged from the server, unactive basically for a period of time, we're thinking a month, without explanation. Right. You know, like HB Smitty, he's on holidays or whatever, or, you know, PodX is away, he's on holidays. You know, just drop us a line. Do you want to follow up with that?
I mean, it does make sense, like, just to keep things fresh and whatnot. And if for example, you're away for a month and you happen to get removed and you just come back and say, hey, I was removed, of course we're going to let you back in. Yeah, but just to kind of keep things.
Sorry to cut you off. You're not going to be booted from the server. You're going to have your role removed, and you'll be sent back to the landing zone.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we talked about too, like, maybe it's a 2-stage process. Like if you're inactive for a month, you drop off back to the landing zone. if you're inactive for another month, well, then maybe that's a case where, you know, see you later. Or whether it's 3 months.
Yeah, see you later.
I don't know. Yeah, Angela will get a knife out. But yeah, we'll play that by ear. Whether it's a month grace period or 2 months, I don't know. We'll just see how it goes.
Yeah.
Well, any other questions about any of that stuff? No, nothing in chat. Cool. Now we were gearing up and very excited to have Jedi come and give us a presentation. He's asked for a bit more time to get that organised, so hopefully we'll get something up and running next week. Other than that, that's pretty much all we've got.
Yeah, and I'm working on the new server like all the time. I'm hoping to get it completed by today and kind of do a few testing tomorrow and the day after. Hopefully we can get everything back on track with the Spark train before next meeting.
Yeah. Yep, so keep an eye out on your DMs. MoreCheese will hit you up. And yeah, I know that Finsky's already done it. He was doing a whole bunch of tests with yeah. So anything you can do to help in that regards will be very much appreciated. All right, other than that, let's wrap this up and get on with things. You all good? Not a shakes. All right, thank you, everybody.
Growing, waiting.